Yeah, Angel, I was going to ask too if I could get some help with roll call too. I'm just going
Sure.
through each institution.
Yeah, so what I can do for you is I can go through the list of the schools if that's helpful.
Yeah, that might be good, and then I guess we can go from there.
Let me just pull that up. Second. Oops. All right. All right, so maybe I'll call it, and then if that's helpful, Alex.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you so much.
All right, so Central Connecticut State University. If you could just unmute yourself and state your first and last name and say present, that would be awesome. Central is here. Eastern, Oliver is here. Southern, I saw Southern here. Kyle is the alternate, Alex.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Okay. Western, is Western Connecticut State University here?
I'm here. I'm representing Western. I'm Akanksha Kopasetti.
Can you just repeat your name one more time, please?
I'm Akanksha Kopasetti.
Thank you. As Nuntuck?
Kimberly Shropshire.
Thank you for putting ACC in your name profile. I appreciate that.
And Samuel Fagerquist, I'm the alternate.
Thank you. And Charter Oak State College. Is Charter Oak here?
Donna Waggoner.
Thank you, Donna. Capital Community College. I see capitals here. You just need to unmute yourself. Dumbai. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Are you representing Capital?
Hi, I'm here. Sorry.
Just say your first and last name, please.
Dumabia Minyanu.
Thank you. Gateway Community College. Housatonic Community College. And then we have Manchester Community College.
I'm here. Maeve Hogan.
Just repeat that one more time. You broke up, please.
Maeve Hogan.
Thank you. Thank you. Middlesex Community College.
Hi, I'm here. Venetiana Candela.
Thank you. Naugatuck Valley.
Present.
Just your first and last name, please.
Anelli Rivera.
Thank you. Northwestern. Western is not here. Jared is here from Norwalk. Thank you, Jared. Quinnebog Valley. Three Rivers.
I'm here, Safira Donders.
Thank you. And last but not least, Tunxis Community College. Tunxis, not Lewis, you're here, obviously from Northwestern. Sorry about that. You just popped on my screen. Okay. Looks like we're good to go, Alex. Looks like we have quorum. Not that we're voting on any items today, but I think we're good to start the meeting.
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, thank you so much, Angelo. And how's everyone doing today? So I know it's early, so I'll try to get us out of here quickly as possible too, depending on how long it takes to go through everything. First, I'll obviously introduce myself because I know we were here previously and I was here, but not in the same position. So currently, my name's Alexander Grant. I'm from Southern Connecticut State University. I'm currently the chair, and I'll have everyone else do introductions like Louise, Oliver. But I just wanted everyone to have an idea of who the chair is and then who the rest of the board is currently. So, of course, if you have any questions for me, concerns, anything like that, that you'd also like for us to discuss during the meetings, definitely just send me a message. I could provide like emails, all that contact information stuff at the end. But I'll give everyone else the opportunity to introduce themselves as well. So Lisa, I don't know if you have anything you would like to say too. Maybe not. All right, that's okay. So we'll go to Oliver and maybe we'll come back to Luis. And Oliver, if you want to introduce yourself, please.
I'm Oliver. I'm the secretary. That's all I really have to say.
Sorry, 1 second.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. I don't think my mic was working before. So hi guys, my name is Luis Sanchez. I'm from Northwestern Connecticut Community College. I'm the vice chair, along with Alex. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or any concerns, like Alex said, I can provide you guys with my email and contact information. And yes, that's it.
Awesome. Okay, sorry, I had someone come in the room. All right, thank you so much. I don't think I'm missing anyone. Angela, I mean, they already know you as well. I don't know if anyone else needs to do introductions or anything like that.
We're probably okay.
All right, great. Okay, no problem. But yeah, so like Louis said, if there's anything you guys have for us, just let us know. But I'm just gonna keep going down the line items. So I believe the next one is regarding election day. So I brought this up to Luis, just regarding, because at least at Southern I've had this concern, and anyone else can chime in too, and we'll have a spot where we could just discuss. But essentially, with election day, we still have classes, so it's pretty problematic, especially at Southern, because Southern we have a lot of commuter students. So having to commute to your polling station and then commute back to class, a lot of students would just opt to just commute to class because it's easier and probably saves them a good amount of money as well. So I'm just wondering if other institutions have heard this concern, or if students have come forward with this concern, and if any other institution has discussed possibly having this time off. And yeah.
Yeah, that's an issue at Western also. Because also like mainly commuter students, so then some kids will just like either like skip class to go vote or then not vote at all. It's like a either or situation here.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Alex, has there been any discussion, because I remember from years past with SGAs on our campuses, has anyone kind of cohesively put together a proposal for the system office to look at, to consider? I think the crux of the issue is having election day be designated as an official holiday so that there's no school and folks can go vote in the local communities or wherever they're registered. Has there been any effort like that in terms of collaboration or coordination with the other SGAs to put a proposal together for academic affairs at the system office to look at? Is anyone aware?
Yeah, no. So I don't think so. And someone else can interrupt me, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so. And it's definitely something I can approach Southern's student government about.
That would be something great for this group to work on if that's an interest or a concern. That would be a system decision, so that would apply to all 17 of our schools. So that would need to be a collaborative effort of this group to put that proposal together for consideration. I think someone has their hand raised. I can't see who though for some reason.
No, it's just me from, this is a Concha again. Another concern was dorming students don't have enough information about the absentee ballot. So then, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I know at Southern we try to do like tablings in the halls, but that only happens one time during that week of election. So that could also be something to look into. But just clarification, Angelo. So how would that proposal look? Like, how's that process?
So correct me if I'm wrong or if I misheard. So the thought is that the preference would be that there would be no classes held on election day so that folks could go vote in their local communities or wherever they're registered. Is that accurate, Alex?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I would recommend that this group, do is, this is a great initial conversation, maybe a follow-up item on the agenda next meeting to talk about, a vote, if everybody's in agreement with that, or if there's maybe dissenting or neutral opinions, and then maybe a written document as to why the system office with support from your local institution leaders, of course, your presidents, CEOs, and Connecticut State's president for the community college, and the president of Charter Oak, why they should consider that and support that. And it would be helpful to compare other systems that maybe don't have classes on election day and some of the benefits of that throughout the country and what that looks like. So a written, cohesive, formally approved document by this body might be something that would go a long way to have the system office research it and take a further look at it, would be my recommendation as the advisor to this committee. Does that help?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that'll be something I'll follow up with everyone else on. Because Angela, I might have to just have like a further discussion about it and look at like previous documents, even if it's not on the same issue, just kind of what it looks like as well. But I can keep everyone updated on that so we can keep moving forward with it as well. Awesome. But I don't know if anyone else had any concerns or experiences they wanted to share about that before I moved on. I just want to make sure everyone had a chance.
It's interesting, and I just pulled up an email, Alex. I think I forwarded to you and Louis and maybe Oliver as well from Academic Affairs at the System Office, and we can, you can share this with the rest of the committee if you want. And they just put through the 23-24 academic year calendar of observances, so universal observances across all 17 institutions. I don't have the actual observances that are listed there. I don't know if Election Day is included. It's probably not, but I'll forward you back this email. And it looks like feedback with regard to the list of observances will be taken up to March 1st, 2023. So this might be a good way to get the Election Day issue considered, by the Academic Affairs group at the System Office.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that because we were obviously like focusing on more like making sure that holidays from different cultures were observed. So I think that, but Election Day definitely could fall on that calendar. So yeah, I'll follow up with that then. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, cool. Well, since we have some type of like plan towards that, and again, I'll keep everyone updated with that. But essentially, I'll bring that forth because, like Angela said, there's a calendar being proposed for the entire system of a bunch of different observance days. So I'll bring Election Day forward as one of those days, and then I'll keep everyone updated too, probably through email. So just moving on, this is also something that...
Hey, Alex, sorry to interrupt. There's a couple of folks that have their hands raised. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I can't see everyone. Okay.
So maybe Sephora, do you want to go first? And then Anelli, sorry if I'm mispronouncing, and Dumbai from Capital.
Okay, yes, I was just gonna bring up the calendar, and I'm looking at it right now, and Election Day is not included. So I was wondering if instead of doing a whole proposal, if just a recommendation would be faster to get the idea implemented instead of doing a proposal.
That's a good point. I just forwarded the email from, his name is Greg DeSantis. He's the Vice President of Student Success at the System Office. He was the one that originally solicited or asked for the feedback from this body, the Student Advisory Committee. So I'm sure Alex could put together a paragraph if he's willing as to why Election Day should be considered. The horse might be out of the barn, meaning it's too late for it to be considered in this current list, but maybe a standalone proposal for Election Day could be something that this group presents and could be considered on its own if it's too late or not appropriate to be included with this universal list of observances. But it's good to at least get the ball rolling, in my opinion.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for the question.
And just sorry, because I can only see 6 people, including myself. Are there other people with their hands raised right now?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, that would be
great.
So this is my second meeting so far, and I'm not sure about this, but are these meetings being recorded?
Yes.
Because I've been in other meetings. They are. Okay. That's cool. Okay. Thank you. Just wanted to confirm that.
Yeah, no, the meeting's being recorded. It'll get uploaded to YouTube either today, later on today, or on Monday. So for folks that want to watch it, this is considered a public meeting. So, folks from the public could join us, but if you want to stream it later and review something, it'll be posted on the CSCU YouTube webpage.
All righty then. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And anything one more person had their hand raised, you can go ahead.
Yeah, this is Dumavi. I was wondering in regards to the observation of Election Day, is it possible we could also discuss the option of making it more so classes are canceled and the campuses are still open? Because I know we do that sometimes, and because a lot of people are students and but they're also non-US citizens. So whereas they may be able to use that time to study and such while other people are doing that. I know we do it for reading day. I believe someone just said that as well. So
Yeah, so you're not looking for the campus to be closed down, but just for classes to be canceled and all operations are still up.
yeah, because a lot
Okay.
of people could also use that day to study for people who are immigrants or green card holders or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll make sure to be distinct with that then. Thank you for bringing that up. Any other concerns? I don't see any hands up, but I just want to make sure if there's any other. Yeah, Louise, you can go ahead as well.
Yeah, I think her idea is really good about leaving the campus open itself. That way, students can use that day, for an extra study day. And I do think it's an issue for a lot of students. Some students just rather go to classes sometimes than go voting. So I do think it's an issue that um, needs to be solved. Yeah. So if anyone else has any more input on this, like I think that her idea was great, leaving the campus open. That way, students can use that as a study day. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up as well. Any other concerns, questions? Okay, I don't see any hands up. I just want to make sure. All right, no problem. Okay, so yeah, and just to reiterate, I'll definitely continue to bring updates with this. I'm going to start again. I'm going to start with that paragraph, like Angela said, and see if it can be added to the calendar. If it's too late, then we'll move forward with the proposal process with that. So I will keep you all updated. But moving on to the next action item, or I guess agenda item. So this is another concern that was brought up at Southern, and my SGA president actually asked if this could possibly be discussed as well. So, in terms of feminine products on campus and making it free, I know that each university or institution is kind of working towards it now with the different with the bill that just passed with the legislation. But Angela, and this might be a better question for you. You might be better answering this. If it's possible for it to be like a statewide initiative rather than just like a university by university. But I'm not exactly sure how that would look either.
So just to give a little background, there was a state law passed that requires Connecticut institutions of higher education, our 17 institutions are included, to provide, and I don't have the bill in front of me, so forgive me if I'm not quoting it specifically, but women's hygiene products in bathrooms on the campuses provided by the institution via this new law. So the effective date is, I think, sometime in the spring semester. Alex, I don't know the exact date. I don't know if you have it on top of your head, but we can share the law and the some of the terms and conditions with regard to what will be provided and where it will be provided. In terms of placement, funding, and collaboration, at the moment, at least, each one of the institutions is handling that on their own. I did earlier in the year, feels like time is flying by, it's already December, but probably in September, I sent out a note to your deans of students and your vice presidents of student affairs at the institutions, letting them know that this law did pass so that they can prepare their facilities and or order products to make sure that we are in compliance with the law. For those institutions that want to purchase, bulk purchasing of these hygiene products, they can do that via the system office. We can provide different vendor informations if the institutions choose to reach out. Now, for the 4 state universities, you obviously know that you have health services on campus, which are mostly in your Office of Student Affairs or report that way through the university structure. So they would likely order those items and then make sure they get placed on the campuses, working with facilities to make sure that the bathrooms have whatever dispensary or physical hardware that's needed to make sure that we're in compliance with the law. For the community colleges, this endeavor is pushed through your dean of students on campus. Hopefully you all know who that is, and your associate dean of campus facilities, who also works on the campus, who works closely with the dean of students at your community college institution. So if you had not heard about this law and you're interested in learning more, I'll forward Alex's summary, but also talk with the dean of students. They should be well aware of it and well underway in terms of making sure that the institutions are compliant with the terms and conditions laid out in that legislation.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Angelo. And just Kyle, thanks for putting the bill in the chat. So if anyone would like to see the bill or go through it, it is in the chat as well. So Angelo, just to clarify, so it would be difficult to do it as like a statewide thing, but it still would be like university by university because it's like up to those powers.
Well, each of our institutions will comply with the law, obviously, because we're required to do that. And obviously, this is something that we support at the system office. But in terms of how the rubber meets the road locally, because our campuses are different, other than providing purchasing options through vendors to get discount pricing when you purchase in bulk, the system office really doesn't dictate to the campuses on how to stock or what to purchase or where to put these items, as long as they are compliant with the bill. Now, I will say, if this group as a body, thinks that there's certain items that should be included or not included, or, if the 4 state universities think that, it should be the same products or the same, rollout, then that's something that the 4 university student advisory committee reps can talk about. And the same thing with the community colleges in Charter Oak. So really, the role of the system office is to make sure that we're adhering to the law and that it's rolled out correctly. But if there are issues with it rolling out or institutions, coming into compliance with it, please definitely let me know, and we'll make sure we'll circle back to the institutional leaders so that they can, be aware of it. It looks like this is effective July 1. There's certain parts, July 1, 2022. And then it kind of goes down what the different products are and the different stipulations of the law. Thank you for placing that in the chat, Kyle. But Alex, we could talk further if there's specific stuff you have suggestions on.
Yeah, sure. Okay, awesome. Thank you. And I want to also make sure, let me just look. If anyone has any comments or concerns about this, feel free to raise your hand and I'll call you out. We're looking good. Okay. All right, awesome. Oh, Safira, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, please correct me, but you can go.
That's okay. It's good. Sorry. Quick question. So if, I know Three Rivers have the hygiene product at the food pantry. As of right now, would that change, or would that still be at the food pantry and also available in the bathroom for the hygiene product?
Yeah, this wouldn't change anything that the campus does locally with regard to the food pantries or the food banks or products that they have there. The specific requirements of this law look like it's in restrooms that are accessible by the campus community and students.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Angela. Thanks for that question too. That's a good question. Any more questions, concerns regarding the feminine products?
Yeah, I had a question.
Yeah.
In regards to the feminine products, and I know you said they'll be placed in restrooms. Will this be all restrooms? Because as we know, there are some men who also have periods. So just to wonder, will that also be included in men's restrooms and hopefully non-binary restrooms?
So the law will specify where they're placed. It's a couple pages long, so I don't want to misquote it, but wherever it's required, wherever the products are required to go and where the best practices are, we'll make sure that the institutions do that. For the gender neutral bathrooms, obviously I would imagine they would go in there, but in terms of specific restrooms, I would have to look further to see what the requirements are and to make sure that that's kind of followed. But we'll share the bill with everybody. It's very specific. But if there are additional suggestions or feedback as to where these products could go, I'm sure the institutions via your deans and student affairs folks or your health services folks would be happy to hear the suggestions, especially from the local SGAs.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely something we can all monitor and just make sure that it's in all the right places. But Kyle, I see your hand up, so you can go ahead as well.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm the alternate for Southern. I just want to say, so Southern has really been looking into this issue, and we've been in talks with our administration to get compliance with this law. And from what we have talked about with our administration is that we don't think it would be in every single bathroom, but that, like at least at Southern, that we would be doing some sort of like test run to experiment with it to see if it's successful by having it in like the most popular bathrooms on campus in the most popular areas. But we're still looking into it. I mean, Southern, just like the rest of the system, isn't in the best financial position. So there's some fears about how Southern is going to pay for it, but we are really trying to push them to do so. And Southern's also curious if other schools on this committee have gotten any pushback from their administrators about like the financial sustainability for this program.
Yes, thank you, Kyle. I see a few hands up. So, is it Hiram? Hiram? I think you were first.
It's Hiram, yes.
Hiram, yeah.
Hello, I'm the student government president at Three Rivers, actually. If I remember correctly, when I was reading the law earlier, it specified that funding would be given to create the dispensers for the female restrooms. I know, like, we've talked about it in Three Rivers, extending it to the gender neutral restrooms and, of course, men's restroom, but I don't know how the funding would work for that. However, with like the food pantry, as Sophia mentioned on campus, I actually can't, I want to say it's a Jen Paul Morand food pantry, which is done in collaboration with the United Way for our school. I know we were able to get some free. It's weird because there's one day we can go to get free food for the pantry, and then there's one day to get free not food products. I don't know if the health products we got were done in collaboration with that, but I know it could be a possibility if there are financial concerns about the stability of continuously supplying health products.
And I will just say that there are agencies in the local community that might be able to supply the college or at least give some of the items that are either at reduced cost or no cost. And it does look like there's a component of grants being available or being potentially available for the local institutions that want to apply for them to help purchase and fund some of these products, which is good news, of course.
Yeah, and I think Akanksha, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I'm a senator at the SJ at WestCon, but then it's mainly our president and the chair of student philanthropy who are initiating the like period poverty, or like they're going into it. So then they plan on having like the dispensers, or like fix the dispensers that are already on campus because those are quite old. So that's one of the things that they want to do. And then they also want to have like the dispensers in like all bathrooms, mainly the more popular ones at first, like what Kyle was saying. So like mainly the popular ones first, and then like going from there, seeing how that works, and then like because we have funding from the SJ, but then also like our president's looking into grants to fund this, and then we have like organizations like fraternity and like sorority, like who have like fundraisers and they give period products to us.
Yeah, I think overall it's definitely going to be something that, like I said, we're all going to have to be monitoring because I mean, university is going to be learning as we're learning about it as well. So, yeah. But any other things that anyone would like to add to the discussion? Whether the question, concern, comment. Okay. So the last thing I will say, like regarding this, is again, you're obviously everyone's gonna be working with their own university on it. But if there are questions, anything that is concerning, definitely try to bring it to the group and we can talk about it together. I'm sure Angelo also will have input too. So if anyone doesn't know anything, definitely feel free to reach out.
And Alex, maybe it would be helpful if each of the student reps, if you're in agreement with this, goes back to their institution to find out what they're doing or plan to do to comply with the law for July 1st. Maybe they can bring that information back to the next SAC meeting and give a brief update on that. So we kind of have a totality of, or a list, a running tab of what the schools are doing. That might be helpful.
Yeah, and did you say the state universities or each institution?
All of them.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be great. Because that would just honestly just give us more insight on what's going on. I think sometimes it can be smoke and mirrors. So yeah, if everyone could do that, that'd be really helpful. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just when you have an opportunity, just reach out to like Angelo said, like dean of students or whoever's in kind of running the initiative and how you see heading it, and just ask them what the plan is so far. That might be helpful. But thank you, Angelo. That's a very good suggestion. Okay, yeah. If there's no other comments though, concerns with this, we can move right along into the schedule. Angelo, did you want me to just go through, or is this something you're talking about for the schedule, or am I just?
Are we on the schedule item?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the spring schedule for SAC has not been published yet, but in previous years we've continued on Fridays at 10 a.m. And this group continues to meet each month that the Board of Regents meets. So I think their first scheduled meeting, they take the winter off after this next week, but they schedule again in February, March, April, May, and June as needed. But Alex and I haven't had a chance to talk, and Luis, about possibly a special meeting in January just to make sure we keep the momentum going for the spring. So once that schedule gets published, we'll send out an email and you'll see the dates for the spring semester, but they'll keep on Fridays. It'll stay at 10 a.m. And we'll try to do these meetings in 60 to 90 minutes to be respectful of everybody's time for the convenience of being virtual and all that fun stuff. So as soon as that's ready, we will send it out. I will say, if you didn't get the email from me and you're a student advisory committee representative from one of our 17 institutions, please send me an email or let Alex know so that we can add you to the distribution list. We have a running list of all the members, but I think some folks changed or switched out of roles. And we want to make sure each one of the institutions is getting the invite to these meetings, which is important, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Angelo. And also just for actually, no, does anyone have any questions about anything Angelo said or concerns? I want to make sure we get those too. No?
Louis?
Yeah.
I think Louis does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think having a meeting maybe towards the end of January, as the semester's starting, I think that'd be good. That way we all can catch up and kind of, like you said, continue moving forward on like issues around the different institutions,
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, Louis. Thank you. Any other concerns though, comments, questions? Okay, awesome. All right, so and just for the next one also, Angelo, sorry to keep putting you on the spot. For the fall debrief and the spring 2023 semester, is that me or is that you as well?
So no, this is, I think, us, me, you, and Louis, okay, and Oliver, if he has anything to add. So I just had a couple questions, and Alex, interrupt me and feel free to jump in anywhere you see fit. So sure. The spring semester will really be, I think, for this group where the rubber meets the road. I had mentioned to Alex and a couple of the other folks that Holly Howry, who's a board member for the Board of Regents, will join hopefully our February meeting to say hello and give some greetings on behalf of the board. She actually was a student advisory committee member when she was a Charter Oak student, believe it or not, years ago, and she stayed on to get asked to serve on the Board of Regents. So she, I know, is very excited about student engagement and coming to the meeting and saying hello. President Terrence Chang, who's the president of the entire system, will come to the February meeting, hopefully, to give his greetings and remarks. He's away at a training conference this week and, sends his regards, but he wasn't able to join us. So we'll get some talking heads in here in the spring semester. But, we had a robust conversation about the women's products in the bathrooms. We should probably follow up on that in the January meeting. And then really, it would be my recommendation based on, serving as the advisor to SAC to figure out maybe one or two tangible items that, or concerns or issues or things that we can engage on or you all can engage on as representatives from the 17 schools to tackle as a student advisory committee. We have a limited amount of time. You're only meeting monthly. The spring semester flies by. So we want to make sure that you're able to do something meaningful and make some positive change on your local campuses. Obviously, there would need to be agreement with the SAC chair and vice chair, an agreement with the rest of this group. But, generally the SAC will pick one or two things for the spring that they can work on, that come May when they give their report to the Board of Regents about what the SAC did in the previous academic year. They can talk about those endeavors that they embarked on and changes that were made and things that were made better at their institutions. A couple of examples of things that they did in the past: public safety. We've made eons of progress on public safety across our institutions. Mental health services. Obviously, there's a need for additional mental health resources on the campuses. That has been discussed as a group at these committee meetings. And things like that. Election day is another thing in terms of the calendar that you brought up that I made a note of. But it might be good to have at least an initial conversation in the 20 minutes we have left to talk about what it might look like for the spring and anything that's kind of left over for the fall that we can also do in the spring to kind of close in on. And if I could just take another minute, Alex, I did receive word from Connecticut State, and Connecticut State is the merged organization for Connecticut State Community College, which all 12 of our community colleges fall under now. And there will be some opportunities for community college students, whether it's the SAC rep from these meetings that are from the community colleges, or for other student leaders or students on your campuses to serve in governance roles as a student representative for Congress and Senate, which are the two local governing body organizations at the community colleges in the merged version of Connecticut State. So I might be reaching out to some or all of you at the community colleges, either to see if you have interest once you have more information about what entails in this in terms of what the workload would be. But I think I need 6 total, 3 for each group, and it's broken down by campus size, so small, medium, and large. So there'll be a representative from the different campus size levels, and we'll make sure that we have a good representation across the 12 community colleges, because this work really begins on January 1st after the new year starts. So more to come on that. So if you haven't checked your email, please check it. You'll get something from me in the next couple of days on that, and we will get these committees populated.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Angelo. So I just want to run right off of what Angelo said too. I want to give us the opportunity, because I know we don't have too much time left, to just get some type of running list going about issues that any issues that anyone's seen at their institution, and if we want to tackle it, add to the list, that'd be awesome.
Just to let everybody know here too, we know that the tuition increases were approved for the universities. I think all of our university reps know that. There'll be a conversation about community college tuition, I believe in February, and then Charter Oak will be around that same time in terms of tuition discussion for the next year. So we will make sure that this group is aware of that, so they have the ability to opine and talk with the campus leaders or the system leaders that are responsible for crafting the budget. So if there is feedback or concerns or questions about what the community college or Charter Oak State College budgets look like, that you all have the opportunity to weigh in and ask questions. And I'll keep you guys, or you all posted on when those dates are.
Awesome. Thanks again, Angelo. So I think I saw Lewis and then Doomby, so we'll go in that order. So Lewis, you want to start?
Yeah, one of the issues, I've talked to a lot of students around my campus, and this is maybe more pertaining to a smaller campus like mine, where there's a smaller student population. But I think this is maybe it could apply to other campuses too, where this might be needed. But I know as a system, we provide mental health with telehealth, if I'm not wrong, Angela, which is good. You know, it provides students with quick help. You can meet with someone. I think you have two meets or something like that with a person, which is great. But I do feel like a lot of students, for example, throughout the semester, you know, whether it's because of school, family issues, different circumstances, get you know, they get a heavy mental toll on them. And I feel like maybe providing those students with you know, a person in the campus itself, where the student can go, potentially go there, talk to that person, maybe even arrange more meetings later on. I feel like maybe that could be a good resource, not only in this campus, but in other campuses, because I feel like that human touch is needed. You know, telehealth is great, you know, but you're not having that like face-to-face human interaction, which a lot of people need nowadays. And I do feel like maybe if we have one, like an actual person, maybe a psychologist in campus at all times, you know, and any student can come there and go talk to that person, maybe that could be a good resource that we could potentially work on down the line.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And as I mentioned, mental health on the campuses has been brought up in previous years, and it's obviously very important. We can, you know, if that's what this group wants to continue talking about, or as one of the issues that we look at, that's great as well. So just to clarify, timely care is what you're talking about, and it's actually 12 individual therapy counseling sessions with a licensed mental health practitioner. So if you're enrolled at Charter Oak or one of our 12 community colleges, you have access to timely care, which is the video telehealth counseling service. And it also has, it's completely free. There's no co-pays. It's available 24/7, 365. You can also actually get medical appointments via telehealth, and they can prescribe prescriptions to your local pharmacy in the event that you need medication for something. That's not something that's available at the state universities at the moment, but there is a plan to talk about how Connecticut State, and we staff the campuses with local on-ground mental health counselors. Some of our campuses have them. You're at Northwestern, so you probably don't. Although Dr. Gonzalez is there, and I know she's a great resource to the campus. Probably not enough bodies on the ground in terms of doing that work, but there also are local partnerships in the community, whether it's, you know, mental health providers or you know, things like that the campuses can make referral to. A lot of that is sometimes geographic specific, but there is a plan to address on-ground counselor presence, at least brief intervention screening, and then referral to off-campus resources. Because especially at our community colleges, they're not open 24/7, 365. They don't have residence halls. You know, there's not folks living on campus. So the need is there, but in a different way. And we want to make sure that we respond to that need. And timely care is designed to supplement that, but not replace the on-ground person like Ruth that does this counseling work. We need to supplement that and increase where it's possible, but definitely duly noted.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for bringing up that concern, and Angelo for the response as well. Jimby, I know you've had your hand up for a while, so please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Angela, for bringing up the tuition hike. Actually, my school is one of the schools that is working towards the tuition hike. So my SJ, we're actually currently talking in regards to reasons as to why we are against the tuition hike and such like that. So I know you said we will bring it up at a later time. So I don't have to go into full detail about it. But if there was like anyone who wanted to like speak in regards to it, or even wanted to connect with my school as well, I'm from Capitol, by the way, for those who don't know, then they can go ahead and reach out or anything as such. So thank you.
That's important, and thank you for reminding us of that. What will happen is, just so that you're all aware, a meeting will be scheduled with all of you, the community college reps and that represent your 12 institutions, and you'll have the ability to meet with Connecticut State, the community college CFO, Chief Financial Officer, and other folks that are helping craft the budget to express your concerns, ask questions about the budget. If there is in fact an increase, and I'm not saying that there is, and I'm also not saying that there's not, I don't know, you'll get that information and be able to ask pointed questions as to why that needs to happen or doesn't need to happen, or what the circumstances are. and that will happen before it goes to the board for a vote. So I will be the one scheduling that meeting, and as soon as they announce what the tuition structure looks like for the upcoming year, I'll schedule that as soon as possible. And you can invite SGA folks or people from your campus too, if that's helpful. We did something similar with the state universities before their tuition discussion happened at the board. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for bringing up that concern. I don't see anyone else has their hands raised, so I know that this isn't something that I've heard like I guess it's something I've heard actually like kind of on and off, but food insecurity. Because at Southern we do have the food pantry. That's kind of pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much like the only option in terms of if someone is like food insecure and needs to like go shopping but doesn't have the funds or whatever their situation is. So that could also be possibly something we'd look at. Because I'm not sure what every institution that looks like. So it could be something we look at and then come back. But I just thought it might be good to add that to the list as well. But any other concerns or any literally any issue that anyone's seen at their university or someone has brought to them? Because I did add everything that we've talked about right now. So Lewis, I know you brought up the telehealth option, so I have that to the list. The tuition hike as well that Dumi brought up, and that of course I just added what I just talked about, which is food insecurity. Oh, sorry, I see your hand up.
One person has their hand up.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
One of the issues, I don't know if it's prevalent over in like other schools, but then we have the classes that are closing down because of the the tuition hike to like our schools like in debt. So then they're closing down like parts of the social sciences department. So then I don't know if like class closures were like prevalent in like other schools in CT.
And just quickly, this is Western, right? Western University?
This is Western, yeah.
Okay, great.
I mean, like to this degree, because they're closing down like entire departments or plan to close down entire departments for the future.
If I could just jump in. So, I mean, we do have the ability, and I just put this in the chat, to request guest speakers come in. I know we did that previously. So, you know, I know Ben Barnes has spoken to this group previously. He's the CFO for the entire system. If there's somebody that you think would be helpful to come in to kind of give an overview or talk about specific issues, I'm happy to be the conduit to make that happen. Western's financial issues, I think, are pretty public at this point in terms of some of the previous meetings and then reports that have come out. You know, we could always ask somebody from Western or from the system office to kind of talk about some of the history, but I also want to make sure that we're also cognizant of that we have 16 other schools represented here, and not to minimize anything at Western. It's just we want to make sure that there's that the issues that we're discussing at SAC are definitely issues that apply to all 16 other schools. So I can get some additional information on Western. We could have somebody come in if that's what this body or this group wants. But it might be just a suggestion for Western. It might be good to have Dr. Barron and or others come to a Western XGA meeting to give additional information about some of the financial issues the university has and that's working through, and then maybe report back to the student advisory committee on what some of those are. And then we could talk about possibly bringing in somebody from Western or the system to detail the budget if that's helpful. That might be a more streamlined way of doing it. But again, it's up to this group.
Yeah, thank you, Angelo. And Samuel, I think your hand's up.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if this is exactly the place to bring this up, but there's a few CSCU transfer tickets at the community colleges where you have to take, for example, mathematics studies, and you have to take certain classes. And then once you take those classes, you can transfer to one of the state schools and you'll be brought in as a junior, like no questions asked. However, for me personally, at least, and I've heard this from a few other people as well, there's a few classes that you need to take to complete the mathematics studies transfer ticket, if you will, that are only at 2 of the 12 community colleges, and some of them are taught in the traditional methods. So it might be hard or almost impossible for students to complete that. So I was wondering if this committee could do anything about that, or if this is even the right place to bring that up.
No, that's important. I think if you're good with that, Samuel, send me an email with what the problem is or what the concerns are, and let me bring that directly to the provost and his team to get a response, because I'm not a subject matter expert on the transfer tickets and how that works, but I can definitely get you an answer, and then maybe you could share it with this group, because something seems a little off.
Perfect, thank you. I'll be sure to do that.
And I want to make sure I have enough time to close out, because I don't want to keep anyone over how long you're supposed to be here. So if there's any other concerns that we want to bring up, I know it may come up after the meeting. Again, I'm going to put my email. I'm actually going to put my email in the chat right now. And I'm sure everyone already has Angela's email. So if anything does come up afterwards, definitely feel free to just shoot me an email. I'll add to the running list, and I'm going to try to figure out exactly which things we can tackle. And again, I'll come back to and we'll talk about it as well. Angelo, just for the local campus SGA elections in the spring, did you want to cover anything regarding that?
Yeah, so just a friendly, helpful tidbit. The majority of your campuses do elections for the SAC or appointments for this group in the spring, but there's a couple of campuses, and I don't know who they are off the top of my head, but you probably know or will know, that don't do them to the fall. So it's really important that if you're graduating this year, that your local SGA does the election this spring to replace you, so that we have the ability to run elections for chair, vice chair, and secretary prior to the start of the fall semester, so that we don't have such a delayed start with the student advisory committee, because we're waiting for the local campuses to finish SGA elections so that we know who can run for those chair, vice chair, and secretary positions. So my ask is, if you are one of those campuses that doesn't do elections until the fall, and there's only a small handful, if you can go back to your president and whoever supervises or advises the SGA to make sure that at least the SAC rep is designated in the spring, so that we know who we're working with for the fall and we can run elections over the summer. That would be truly helpful. And I want to give a shout out to Oliver. Thank you for being the secretary. I know it's a thankless job. There's nothing that I can't stand more than taking minutes, but he's doing a great job, and we appreciate the hard work and the time that's going to take to put these minutes together so that we can post them publicly. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely a round of virtual applause for Oliver. I was just thinking the same exact thing. I was like, oh my gosh, all this stuff. So yeah, but seriously, thank you so much, Oliver. So I know we only have 4 minutes left, so I do want to just make sure we have enough time for any questions, comments, concerns in general about anything we talked about as well.
And Alex, if everybody uses Teams, I think everybody uses Teams at the institutions. Maybe we can make a group, an SAC team with the representatives, so that there could be a chat, or there could be documents uploaded or stuff shared. And that could be a good way to make sure we have everybody's contact information moving forward.
Okay, yeah. Do you already have a list of everyone here, or do I have to make that? Just so
no, I have a list. Maybe
okay.
I have the community colleges and the system office are all on the same team system. The 4 universities are on separate team systems. So
okay.
I'll probably create the team and then make you an owner, and then just make sure all the folks are invited, so that we can make sure everybody gets integrated into it.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
And then if we're missing anybody, we can go ahead and circle back and get them added.
Yeah, I think that'd be helpful, just so we can stay proactive as well.
Awesome.
But yeah, so, and like excuse me, like I said, any comments, concerns, questions, or any issues that anyone wanted to bring up that they didn't get a chance to? Okay. All right.
Otherwise, we could take a motion to adjourn in a second.
Yeah. All right, cool. So yeah, without anything, look out for that Teams. Again, I put my email in the chat. If you want to send anything, just please do that. But I would like to adjourn this meeting at 10:58, can I please get a motion to do so?
I motion to adjourn this meeting. Oh, yeah. I motion to adjourn this meeting.
Yep, thank you so much, Doomby, and then I just need a second as well.
I second. This is Jared.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jared. All right. Well, Angela, I think we're good, right?
Good to dismiss. Thank you, everyone.
Okay,
Have a
awesome.
wonderful
Yep.
holiday.
Yeah, everyone enjoy their break. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good day,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you. Take care.